Hey everyone, it's Christine here. Welcome to my channel. I am an intuitive spiritual coach, helping people to re-establish their foundation after trauma, navigating or starting their spiritual journey, and living their best spiritual and holistic life. As you may have noticed, if you've seen some other videos that I posted on my channel, a lot of the videos as of late have focused on energy readings, weekly energy readings, Friday self-love oracles, and also lunar and monthly zodiac sign readings. And there's a reason for that. One of the main modalities that I have used in my own healing journeys have been tarot and oracle cards, which is the focus of this video. So let's dive in about how using oracle and tarot cards can help you on your own healing journey. And I'm going to leave that very broad, and some of what I say necessitates a separate video because I won't get too much into my own healing journey at this time, but it's in the works. But I will say what prompted me to start using alternative modalities and tools in my own healing journey was when I estranged myself from my family in 2019, from my maternal family, I should say. And later, a few months after starting this job, I left a non-toxic job where I experienced emotional abuse, gaslighting. And so I was at a point in my life, and it was November 2020, the pandemic year, where a lot of things were happening on repeat. And I'm like, why are these same situations happening? And I realized I really needed to heed the root causes of these. And I got serious about it. And on paper, actually, wrote it down. Like, what do I need to heal? What's been bothering me? What has happened? And I realized that I initiated an intense and radical self-healing journey at that point. And so I'm grateful for those experiences because they were the impetus, the catalyst for me to elevate my own healing journey, which is very much intermingled with my spiritual journey. And so I want to offer first and say 3 ways that oracle and tarot in itself, and again, it's not limited to these modalities, but I specifically wanted to focus on these because there's so many others, like astrology, Reiki, crystals, nature, like forest bathing and things like that, that I also used, which will be the focus of later videos. But to keep this, I'm trying to keep this focused, I want to talk about tarot and oracle. And for me, I remember when I looked onto YouTube, because I'm visual, and so for me, YouTube is one of the best ways, and I also like reading. You could do a cursory search on tarot or oracle, and you're going to find everything under the sky, every topic, business, soul growth, love, romance. And I found that disproportionate numbers of readings focused on love and relationships. And I'm like, and I know they're very popular, and that's an area of life many people want to know about. And I realized for me, especially at the time of my healing, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to help me in the way that I need it to. And I do want to just put a caveat. I have great respect and admiration for all content creators out there, no matter what you do, because it is hard. Perhaps not hard in the way that most people think, because many of these readers are gifted in what they do. And it takes work, it takes energy and space to do these readings. And so they are helping people that need to hear these messages and that want to. But for me, I knew it wasn't my path, and I wanted to focus more on soul guidance, soul mission, and healing myself, and also gaining trust in myself and how to learn to love myself. And so the first tip that I can offer, or let me take a step back. The first way that working with oracle and tarot decks can help you heal is by providing guidance, almost like acting as mini self-mentors. I started just by pulling one card every day, and then it became every week, and then I would start doing weekly readings, which eventually turned to monthly. And I wasn't consistent with that, but they provided guidance in a way that allowed me to start reflecting, to start looking at what was happening, to journal, to ponder, and just get curious. Because after you experience different traumas, you may be left in a confused, asked state. Not just with who you are, your identity, but also trust and where to go and what your next steps are. And for me, I knew that I would never return back into the field that I was. And I also had gotten other signs. That was just the catalyst. You know, when we don't listen to signs that the universe sends, similar to the tarot card Tower. things start to crumble, and the universe was like, we're just going to vacuum all this out. So for me, it was a catalyst of many sorts. And so these cards themselves provided guidance. I would simply, shuffle like I do in my regular readings and let them fall and just pick cards. And I would contemplate them. And I'm an intuitive reader, but I also know traditional meanings as well. But I would contemplate it and be like, okay, what issue is going on? The devil. Yeah, it could be a devil. Maybe I need an exorcism, but I'm like pretty sure this is not the message I'm getting. And it started helping me hone in, connect with myself, and develop that. So the guidance was the first aspect, basically the superficial layer. They acted as guides. The second part, which is now what I'm delving into, is getting to know yourself on a deeper level. The cards themselves, the messages that I started receiving at that time were timely, what I needed to hear, whether they were on peace, on self-love, on boundaries, on working on getting rid of any addictions, any things that didn't serve me, people, places, things, because I take this as all. Many of them were on me, my own mental blockages, for example, and I'm just reading it as I see it right now. I did not know how to communicate with others in a healthy way. I could be passive aggressive. I realized too, it had to do with the way I had grown up and as an adult child of alcoholics and dysfunctional homes, or in a dysfunctional home. And that gave me guidance on, wow, okay, well, I need to set boundaries, because I was someone that didn't set boundaries. I can tell you I'm a recovering people pleaser, codependent, enmeshed, boundaryless person. And I will do an account of my own journey soon. It's simply a matter of time in this Aries season, because this is not my full-time job. I have my own business and do a lot of other work separately. But this is a passion of mine, and I love helping others. And I want to provide content to help others, especially because my own journey was very much solo. My own healing happened a lot on my own. I didn't work with a lot of counselors, therapists. But I also want you to use your own guidance, your own discernment, your own sense of trust and intuition, and also consult your own professional healthcare team, because you know, with their advice and your own discernment and intuition, which path is best for you. But anyways, going back to this, I just started writing down what I received, and little by little my intuition got sharper. I received more messages as I was ready, because in the throes of a post-trauma event, I knew Spirit wasn't going to be like, okay, you're ready, we're going to start giving you messages and get to work. No, I had to take time to rest my entire soul being. I remember after I left that job, and again, I'll go more into detail in a separate video, I took a month off. And I have to note that my privilege there, because not everyone can do that. I had saved and had time and had resources, financial resources to be able to do that. I took a month off to focus on myself. My nervous system was shot. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. So I will say, using these, I got into these in another modality pretty quickly, energy healing. And that in itself started helping me connecting on a deeper level. And so, first, these in itself, cards, tarot and oracle, provide guidance. They're like little mentors. Think of them like mini coaches. Second, after doing these practices, daily, weekly, monthly, I got to know myself really well. And not just on a spiritual, emotional level and healing, but I also got to know things I like to do. I got ideas. I started getting messages. Maybe engage in hiking. I used to do a lot of trail walking, a lot of walking in neighborhoods. And then I started expanding into hiking, which is a little bit different. So that was in some way, shape and form, how these cards were able to help me as I continued to heal in my own journey. Third, all of this leads to self-trust, and this is the most important thing. This is why I love using these cards, and why I myself like to provide readings to everyone, because it helps you tap into your own intuition. It helps you question things, helps you discern, does this resonate with me or does it not? Because a lot of people try to mold their situations, especially in love readings, to fit that, and that's not what it's about. It's really about self-trust, trusting yourself. And so that was the key goal in all of this. And it helped me so much trust myself for who I am, not just as an earthly being, but also as a spiritual being. I see 555 on the clock. It just jumped. Some of you are going through changes right now, massive changes. Some of you are in the midst of major healing too. It helped me really trust my decisions and not seek external validation, because I was someone that would seek it. As if you deal with codependency, you're a people pleaser, you look outside of yourself for validation and you're not able to do that within, you are enmeshed, or you don't have boundaries, you may find yourself resonating or saying, yeah, I experienced this too. Self-trust is key on this journey, and you start cultivating it little by little. And so I want to show you some of the decks that I used very briefly, not go into them, but the very first deck, which isn't even considered a typical oracle deck, or even, it's not tarot at all, was this, the Affirmators deck. And I'll show you the cover. I got it on Amazon, but you can also get it on their website. You can just Google it. knockstuff.com. I don't know if you can read it, it's at the bottom. But if you simply Google Affirmators or search it on the internet, you will find the company, and you can order it from their website or Amazon or wherever they may sell it. And these are easy. I was attracted because they were simple, they were fun. I love rainbows, I love animation. It tapped into my inner child. They offered, things on serious topics, but they balanced it with their messages. And it resonated with me. And so I started picking some for guidance every day. And eventually, just because of life and it got busy, I would do guidance every week. And I would always ask the universe for guidance. And I started expanding my repertoire of tarot, affirmation decks, and oracle decks. And my first tarot deck was the Raider White deck when I was 16 years old, nearly 24 years ago. And I didn't prioritize that time at 16. It was just a busy time. And so I didn't engage with tarot for too long, maybe about a year. And I picked it up again last year. And it was just like it was like where I left off, I picked it up. And I felt guided to use a different deck. I wanted something that was more representative, because I do engage and support and love doing work in racial equity and BIPOC issues, Black, Indigenous, people of color, because I am a person of color in the United States. It may be called minorities in different countries, historically excluded, marginalized populations, but it's so important for me to see that diversity too. But I love it. This card represents, and it's beautiful. What I loved the most too was the muted colors, the pastels. I absolutely loved it. And it really helped calm, actually, my nervous system seeing this, because it was on overdrive a lot. Because I am an empath and a highly sensitive person. I suspect many of you are too. So there are many. You can Google them and then go to images and just look at them, or even Amazon or whatever marketplace you consult, and set the intention to connect with one. You never know. There are so many beautiful decks, and that's a whole separate video on how to really get comfortable with your deck, because I thought, as of late, I'm like, why don't I really use these as much in my weekly readings? And then I realized, look how many there are. There's 78 versus mainly, it depends on the deck, anywhere from 30, we'll just say, to 50. More or less, these are like 40-ish, 44 cards in oracle decks, but they vary. But look at this. But they provide amazing insights. So I will be bringing these back. I love them. They helped me. Every day I would pick one. I did not do a Celtic cross, I should say. I always used to say Celtic, and then I'm like, wait, that's not the right word. I did not do any major spreads to begin with. I wasn't like, okay, let's pick 20 cards here and get going. And I didn't even clarify. I didn't do any of that. I just picked one card, and I would ponder it, and I'd be like, what does this mean? I'm an intuitive reader as well. What am I getting? What am I feeling? I would just journal on that. And sometimes if I didn't want to write, I would just talk about it. I would look at it, or I would take a picture and refer to it throughout the week. It started slowly. I didn't do this every day. So that's one way I started practicing this. And it helped me so much on my healing, because again, an element here throughout is trust. As I got more comfortable, first starting with the Affirmators and then going on to the tarot deck, I have the Luna Sol Tarot. which is beautiful. Again, because of the muted colors. They're like pastels. They're gorgeous. They make me feel calm. But there's so many other beautiful ones. One of the readers I just connected with, oh, I forgot her name. I'm going to put her description. She used the Labyrinth deck. You know the movie The Labyrinth with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly? One of my favorite movies as a kid. They came out with the deck. The same, they have a lot of Disney ones too, but they have so many decks, whatever you feel and called to. And remember, these are art. A lot of people, I can do another video on that. Many people are like, these are devil's work and whatnot. And more than likely, if you're watching this, it's not. But you can literally take your own and create your own deck if you feel called. Put numbers, messages. If you're creatively gifted, like artistically, draw them. I am not. I do people figures, but they're just guidance. That's it. One of the last decks, I started getting more into ones that provided, and I'm using it as a little platform for my phone, was this one. Oh, excuse me, Super Attractor, Gabrielle Bernstein. And there's so many that provide affirmations, mantras, and whatnot. And I love these because they're short, and I would pick one and focus on that through my week. And now I started writing with neon markers on my bathroom mirror mantras, and I repeat them to myself. Words of affirmation are a love language of mine, so see what works for you. But it really helped change because I did practice cognitive behavioral therapy on my own and with worksheets, and I'll just throw it out there. Therapist Aid, it's either .org or .com. A lot of good worksheets for when you're doing healing work on your own or when you want homework with your own healthcare professionals. It was another way for me to start shifting that mind frame, the story I would tell myself, the beliefs. Finally, and I have a bunch of decks, so I'm not going through all of them. I'm really passionate about self-care, and that's something I had to learn too in reparenting myself as an adult child of alcoholics and realizing, wow, you got to take care of yourself, Christine. Doesn't mean just brushing your teeth and going to bed. I'm a night owl. But also taking care of yourself in so many different ways. You know, engaging in meal planning maybe, or making sure you get nature time or whatever it is. And these cards are beautiful. I got these in the last 6 months and I really like them. They speak to me. I am a North Node in Cancer, and you know, for any of you that are Cancers out there, you know, fourth house, it's about the home, taking care of yourself, nurturing others, really tapping into your intuition, and you're the mother for the zodiac. So in short, I don't want to draw this out too long. This is just a beginning, a tap into how these cards, Tarot and Oracle, can help you heal and in what ways. It's the main point is all about guiding you towards self-trust and being curious about yourself, because it's really a journey. It's a destination, a lifelong journey of learning about yourself, and new things keep opening up. Right? The people we were 10 years ago are not the same. We're not the same, you know, who we are right now. So I hope this video helped you all and you got some nuggets out of it. I'm excited to do more on so many different topics here as some work stuff slows. But I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you soon.